Everyone, welcome to this week's Power Lunch. We're here with Jen Saunders-Haynes. I'm so excited to have her. She's the Director of Global Catering at Subway, a Director of Membership Hospitality at Miami-Dade's Women's Chamber of Commerce, Forbes BLK member, DEI advocate, the Catering Queen herself. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Where are you today? Are you in Miami?
I'm in Miami, yes. I am in Miami today.
I'm trying to move to Miami. I'm thinking about it.
So you should come. It's beautiful.
Okay.
It's beautiful between November and April. Between May and September, not so much.
Tube socks, boy, about to pop the lunchbox. Tube socks, boy, about to pop.
It's hot and hotter, but it's beautiful.
I grew up in the Middle East. This is nothing.
Okay, well,
You know?
come to Miami.
Okay, perfect. If I came to Miami, I'm thinking about Coconut Grove. Is that?
Yeah, that's not too far from
Yeah?
me.
Okay, that's the area I'm thinking about.
Nice.
All right, so let's talk about Subway a little bit. Let's talk about your journey to today. Is this
Okay.
what you thought you were going to do when you were a little kid in high school?
No.
So
No.
what was the dream?
So when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a news anchor.
Wow.
So maybe this is my start. You never know. but I wanted to be a news anchor when I was a little girl. And then before I started at Subway, I was with Focus Brands in restaurant. And then when I started at Focus Brands, it was in catering ops role. And so I was in ops before. So for I guess 10 years of my life, I helped catch criminals. So fun fact about me, that's what I did before the restaurant world.
Wow.
And then I was in operations doing that. And then I switched to the restaurant world and here ever since. And this is kind of my love. Once I got into it, I didn't know that I would love it as much as I do. It's kind of one of those things where food is something that speaks to all of us in different ways. You know, I always tell the story about how being a little girl and learning how to cook with my mom and my grandmother and my great-grandmother and having dinner on Sunday after church was something that was a family staple for us, what so many other families do. So, you know, food is one of those things that transcends race, religion, culture, everything. And it doesn't matter where it's from. It's something that brings people together. And so, you know, being a part of that in the world of off-prem is amazing. I get to be a part of experiences and journeys and family events and meetings, and I'm not even there. So it's special.
I love that. And when you were at Schlotzsky's with Focus Brands, you increased loyalty by 150% in less than 12 months. That's what the rumors are, legendary rumors of your time there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that was a fun journey. When I was at Focus Brands, specifically Schlotzsky's, we kicked off a loyalty program that was specific to catering. So it was interesting to see it grow and how many people kind of loved that kind of program because it was something special. It was something that they could get that was exclusive, right? It was just for catering and it was different than the in-restaurant loyalty program. So we found new and exciting ways to get that program kicked off and then keep people engaged. So it was the growth and then, of course, the engagement, which is sometimes as important as the growth.
I love that. One of the things you wanted to be was a news anchor.
Yeah.
What part of those skills are you still using in this job? Because I'm assuming there's a lot of transferable skills still.
Yeah, totally. So I talk to people every day, of course. And I think the exciting part for me of that I love that I pulled from my news anchor career that didn't happen is that
Didn't happen yet.
Didn't happen yet. There's still time. First step, baby steps. I think being able to communicate the things that I love and in a way that means a lot to me and resonates with people. And then I think leading with empathy. I think something that good news anchors do well is leading with empathy. And I try to do that in conversations with people, especially in a franchisee environment. So, you know, transferable skills for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Subway is very special to me because I'm from Bangladesh. And I don't know if you know the history, but of New York, for some reason, all the franchisees are Bangladeshi. We love owning our Subways and we love owning our Dunkin' for some reason. How do you guys cultivate this amazing partnership with all these immigrant founders who just came to the country, want to be entrepreneurs, and for some reason they're like, Subway is the brand we're going to go and bet our livelihood on?
Can't speak on behalf of our teams that go and recruit franchisees, but I will say, speaking as an employee standpoint, Subway is a place that is, there's name recognition, there is loyalty to the brand. It's kind of a wholesome brand in that, you know, it's part of that American dream. And so when people kind of come to the country, I can understand why they would want to own a Subway, right? It's what they know, and we're global. So you see it all over the place. So coming to America and wanting to own a Subway because you've seen it in your home country or wherever else makes sense to me. So I get it.
You are doing a lot of work, not just in catering, but also the Amplify program for Black employees.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and why that's important to you.
So personally, the DE&I journey is important to me because my kind of life mission is to make sure that I am doing my part and my work. And that is every person, regardless of ethnicity, race, whatever, should be held to the same expectations, but they should also be afforded the same opportunities. And in some cases, granted the same exceptions. And so if you are making space or room for people of one race, culture, religion, whatever it is, you should do the same for everybody. And so it's not a matter of being more lenient toward any one group. It's a matter of respecting and accepting those that may be different, look different, have different thoughts and ideas, and affording them the same opportunities and granting them the same exceptions that you would grant any other person. So it's really what the journey is about, and being able to manage those unconscious biases, having those uncomfortable conversations in a safe space where people feel more comfortable to share. So that's really important.
I've seen this time and again. I'm an immigrant to the country where it was worst of both worlds, which is I was expected to work twice as hard, but opportunity wasn't as much. You're saying let's make it the opposite. Let's make it very even on both ends. Let's ask the same of everyone and give them the same ladder.
Yeah, that's right. We are in this space where, like I said, certain expectations are put on some people and certain exemptions are given to other people. And that just shouldn't be the case. And, we all have unconscious bias. We all have these things that we wrestle with, different microaggressions, and being able to say, you know what, I do have this. I am working on this. I recognize it. And sometimes it's not something that we are trying to do or intentional. It is something that is within us that we just have to recognize and work through. And being able to work through it in a space that is safe is important, especially in the workplace. Oftentimes, either the only woman or the only woman of color at tables. So being able to manage those spaces and navigate those ideas or, unconscious bias that other people may have is important for me to do and with grace and empathy and love and respect. So that's what I try to do moving forward.
I love that. How does one become the catering queen for 20,000 plus locations? I can't even imagine 20,000. I was a marketing leader for 50 locations, 50. And I was tired. This is 20,000 locations. Like that. I can't even fathom your day to day. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
To be the catering queen, one must have a crown. But other than that, I think maybe, again, leading with empathy is important. I don't claim to be the knower of all things. A lot of what I know has come from trial and error and being open and able to make mistakes and honestly being granted the freedom to make those mistakes and learn from them. So I think being a queen in its own right is understanding your value, your worth, and then moving in a way that is, you can be a little bit dangerous, but dangerous within reason, and do what's best for the greater good of the industry, not just the company for which you're working. So I don't want to hoard all of my knowledge. I want to share it with as many people as I can, because we're all kings and queens, right? So we have to carry ourselves in that way. So if there's something that I can do to help, a fellow catering director or whomever else, I want to make sure I share that knowledge. And so hopefully there are other kings and queens that start popping up. I would appreciate that.
How many people at Subway are focused on catering?
Everybody. We're all focused. Yeah, it's something that is important to us as a brand. It's something that you've seen, us talk about on social media channels. It's something that you've seen us talk about, in different articles. We're focused on it as a brand, and it's something that we're striving to become better at.
By the way, we at Lunchbox are super focused on catering as well. I don't know if that's clear from the outside looking in. It's our fastest growing sector. And my theory is that restaurants have maximized their opportunity in the dining room and also via delivery, small batches. This is a place where all of us have not invested enough in. Besides few brands who are known for catering, I think we as a community of restaurateurs have really not touched catering properly. And this is like that next place of lost revenue that we really need to go ahead and optimize for. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that we, right, in the industry get hung up on the word catering sometimes. I think it's important to recognize for our guests or consumers or, whatever vernacular you use to describe them, they want to feed people. And whether we call it whatever word we want to call it, the fact remains that they want to feed people. They want to order food easily. They want it delivered. These are the things that they want. And so if you are giving guests what they want, when they want it, and how they want it, doesn't matter what you call it, right? And so I think focusing on that and holding that as the prize is always going to be the most important thing.
Absolutely. I love the way you put that. By the way, you are Lunchbox's esteemed top 30 women in food for 2024, voted by your peers, your community, your friends, your colleagues. How did that feel? Does that mean something? Do you stop and feel the love, or are you just going?
Oh, no, I stop. I take a minute. I think the day that I read the nomination, I was on a cruise.
Yes.
I was.
Yes. I stalked you. We did some stalking.
I was on a cruise with my mom, actually. I happened to have Wi-Fi that day, and I looked at my phone and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And so I read it to my mom and she was like, who did that? I was like, I don't know, but I'm so excited. So it was, I definitely stop and take a minute. And that's just not for catering. That is like for all things in life, right? Like you can't go so fast that you don't take a moment to appreciate not just your journey, but how you landed here, right? So it is the journey, it is the reward, it is the work that you still have to do. So it's all of the things, right? And so part of that is recognizing this is where I am, appreciating the work that it took to get here, and then understanding how much work you still have to do. So I appreciate it. I'm incredibly thankful to what I call my village, but I also know that there's more work to do.
Absolutely. So you are speaking at Food on Demand.
Mm-hmm.
We're really excited to hear you speak on your panel. What are you excited to talk about? And also, what are you excited to learn from other panelists?
Yeah, so most importantly, I'm excited to learn, as I say, all the things, right? So I'm excited to learn what people are doing, where people are struggling, the opportunities. I think it's always interesting for me to hear, and not just in fast casual or QSR, but what is happening in fine dining, what is happening, in these other kind of ghost kitchen concepts, right? That's important because we all can pull different things from every space to make ourselves, more valuable in whatever space we're working in. So I think that's exciting for me. I think I'm most excited to share a lot about, my learnings over the last 10 years that I've been doing this thing and how the industry has changed. Like if I think about where we were prior to COVID, where we're in COVID, and where we are now, those are three very different places, right? And then thinking about where we're going, right? And how like the feelings of how people are ordering food. Like I said earlier, like we put a lot of weight in what we call things, but for our guests, they just want to feed people. They want the food to show up on time and be accurate. So sharing how we're navigating that space and sharing how other people may be interested in navigating that space, I think is what I'm most interested in.
You guys had 8 straight quarters of same-store sales growth through the end of 2022. Like, that's incredible. I'm sure a lot of it had to do with catering. If we can focus a little bit more on catering, day one when you got there, what are low-hanging fruits that other brands can be inspired from hearing you out? Which is like, hey, day one, these are the things that you can really quickly invest in before you become a mature catering brand like we've become, like Subway has become today.
Yeah. The first thing that you have to do is figure out your menu. Everybody, wants to have a catering program, I hope, but it's really important that you set up a menu that makes sense, right? If you launch catering with a menu that is cumbersome or clumsy or difficult to navigate, you're going to set a not so great impression on your first go round. So navigating the menu is important. And then after you navigate the menu, understanding who even wants to order it in the first place. So understanding the guest, right? So we have a lot of different kinds of guests that expect different things from us. So navigating those spaces was important to us. And whether that comes from consumer insights or industry data, whatever it is, dedicate time and resources to understanding who that guest truly is. And then understand what your menu should look like and who you want to be, right? What space you want to play in. Like, so that's important too. Once you get those kind of what I call the bones, everything else you can build around it. And then you can create a team to support it. I know that there are some brands that catering falls under marketing, catering falls under ops. And I get that different companies are built differently, but it's really important that cross-functionally, catering is always top of mind, no matter where it falls in the organization. It's not solely a marketing function. It's not solely an operations function. It touches technology. It touches ops. It touches marketing. It touches supply chain. Every part of the business, catering touches. It is truly a business within a business, and you cannot navigate operating catering in a silo. It will not work.
Yeah, I think it's so often it's an afterthought. It's such an extra credit project or a side project. I think it needs to be front and center, like the way you talked about it, because the food we serve in a dining room would never be considered a marketing initiative.
Right.
It's everyone, right? Mm-hmm. So I think catering needs to be looked at in a similar way. And I think you are paving the way for the industry to have that dialogue in such a manner.
Yeah, and it may be something that we're missing. I talk to a lot of people that are trying to figure out how to kick the catering program off, whether it be franchisee or multi-unit owner. And it is always, you have to think about catering as a business. You have to. You can't just throw marketing dollars at it, because then the execution will fall short. You can't just execute to perfection and not market. You can't have marketing and operations and not have good packaging. Like, all of these things play a huge role in building a good program. And you have to dedicate resources to it to make it grow.
I love that. So you went to the Carnival Cruise with your mom.
I did.
First of all, why'd you take your mom? I love that you took your mom. Like, I want to hear about that. And also London. I just went to London too. How was that?
Yeah. I went with my mom on a cruise. So my mom recently got her passport, maybe a couple of years ago. And so she's been really interested in going new places. And so she had not been on a Caribbean cruise.
We're experiencing an earthquake.
Oh no. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's very minor. But this is New York. We don't experience this in New York, but the entire building was just
I didn't
shaking.
See anything fall down.
Nothing. So no, it wasn't bad.
I hope that you're okay.
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
It wasn't bad, but we experienced that together. I just want you to know that.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm glad you're okay.
Listen, if I on camera, the content would be great. It'll be great. A small part of me wishes.
I would not appreciate
I would have appreciated it so much, because record button's on. They don't need me to edit it later. It'll be my final moments with you. It's a good way to go out. Like, I have no problem with that. But it stopped.
Okay, good. Oh dear. Okay, I don't even remember what I think we were talking about my mom and her passport.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry about that. I've never experienced that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. It's New York. We don't get that.
I the monitor started like moving a little, and I thought maybe you were just moving around.
No.
And then you were like, no.
I'm like, oh wait. I'm like, are we? Should I say something? I was like, let's just do this.
Let's just roll.
Let's just roll.
My mom got her passport maybe a few years ago. And so my mom, my sister, and I normally do what we call a girls' trip every May. My mom's birthday is in May, and then Mother's Day is in May. So we celebrate together and go somewhere special every May. And so after she got her passport, the first international trip we took with her was to Jamaica. And then she really wanted to go on a cruise. So we did that. And then this year, May, we'll be going to St. Lucia. So we're super excited about that. And then my husband and I try to do what we call a big trip every year for our wedding anniversary. And so this year we went to London and Paris, which was amazing. So yeah, we had a really good time. We got a little bit of rain, but we made the most of it, and we got to spend some really good quality time together. So,
that's amazing.
So that was the Carnival trip with mom and the London trip.
Yeah, it is an earthquake. Everyone is texting. It was an earthquake. It is an earthquake.
Like, I am fine. Nothing fell. We are okay.
And
I am recording in the middle of an earthquake.
Yeah. That's so funny. I'm like, am I going crazy? And now I look at my text. Boom, 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 boom. You don't understand how odd it is for New York to experience an earthquake.
It's crazy that you experienced it on camera too. Like, of all places.
I just want you to know, I didn't flinch. I didn't move. I didn't care. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. It's Friday. It well. It's Friday. Yeah, Jen and I are hanging out, talking about catering. Yeah. I'm with the Catering Queen.
And then there's an earthquake.
That is so
catering funny. Is so earth-shattering that there's an earthquake. when we talk about it.
That
I
is
love
so
it.
funny. That is so funny. You are the best spokesperson for catering. The best. Like you're in between the earthquake. I love that. Well, Jen, I really appreciate you spending some time with us on our power lunch. I feel like I know you. I've seen you on LinkedIn. You are such a great voice for not just catering, but the people of color in our industry as well. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was good to be here. We'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon.
Ones to fly with me. Tube socks, boy, about to pop the lunchbox. Tube socks, boy.